what you want, Briana King? I was like, I can get clipped. This is illegal. We're detaining you. I wish you could run. So I started to meetups in a place of thinking that I wanted to help people, and it was actually a place of
I don't think I've ever heard anybody looking at failure as not taking care of yourself.
every morning I wake up. I need to do it in order for my family to be skateboarding. That's it.
Welcome to Profits and Process. I'm Ryan Grant, and today's episode is fun. It's going to be dope because my guest is someone that inspires me, excites me from the moment that I've seen her profile, her page, down to meeting with her before we got a chance to do this. The energy has just been all love and just vibey. She does many things, from skateboarding to modeling, surfing. I'm gonna say community development because of the work that she does with individuals. But I don't even, all those to me just like kind of put her in a box, you know. But I look forward to this conversation because I also, in representation of how she looks physically and emotionally and how she just reacts, it reminds me of my daughter. So it's beautiful to see. So I want to welcome Briana King to the show. Appreciate you coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Real quick beforehand, we make everybody pick a book now. You chose a book. What'd you choose?
Stolen Legacy. Being a woman in skateboarding, and I feel like the come up that I had in skateboarding that came so fast and was just given to me right away.
Where?
A lot of people felt like it was stolen from them and taken from them when no one really owes none of skateboarding. And it just called me right away, and it was something that used to hurt me for so long, and now it's something that makes me feel good when I read it because we've all grown past that, and now we're just like a huge collective of loving people instead of feeling like anything was stolen from each other.
I really appreciate that because that is so different than the perspective that most people that are interested in that book come from. And I appreciate that, and I think that that's a phenomenal, somewhat of a transition into like who you are. So it gives people a frame of reference for like actually how you move and the way you see the world. All right, so we start off with that. What are you listening to right now, music-wise? I'm gonna keep it real light for a little while because you're dope. So I want to hear like the real like ill shit. Like, what are you listening to right now?
Okay, in my head right now, I really want to be like in an alternative punk, like rock kind of band. So I'm listening to Strawberry Fuzz. They're a LA punk band. I'm listening to a lot of Paramore because that is just like my OG classic. It makes me feel good.
Yeah,
and just a lot of smaller artists that I find through Spotify, but just a lot of folk alternative because that's what kind of band I want to play.
Word.
Like and be in at the moment. So
I see that. I'm with that. I want to just give clarity to when I reached out to you. You know, you're actually the first guest that has spoke to how much value or appreciation for the podcast that you had before coming on, and it made me realize even more that essentially you needed to be on because you kept saying almost every guest you were like, this is dope, you would repost in any capacity. And so when I hit you and said, hey, I want you on, I want you to be a part of this, you know, there was a little hesitancy.
Because it's scary. Like everyone that's on the podcast, podcast, 'cause, 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 it's been so amazing being able to listen to the podcast, and it's helped my life so much. And just being on there, I'm just like, oh my God. For a moment, I wanted to like compare myself to other people and be like, what they have to say isn't anything that I've ever thought of before.
Yeah.
And when am I going to say that I've never thought of before? And then I was like, that thought doesn't even make any sense.
So
There's so many
exactly,
things
yeah.
that I can say that so many people have never heard before. And then I was
Word.
like, okay, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm good.
No, like, but I love that you.
No, but it also wasn't that too. I told you I was also nervous about you and your energy, and I needed to see like what
Word.
was good there too. So it wasn't only just the podcast; it was just your existence and the people that you've been around in
But
their
that's,
existence.
and I know, in relation to my brother, I can empathize with all of that, and I get it. Hence why I did. I was like, I gotta push a little bit. I was like, I'm not gonna let you just bail on this.
I know I wanted to. I was like,
But in the same breath, I also, in wanting to create, like knowing what this is about an honest, casual, comfortable conversation. I wanted to create a space beforehand that we could build and just talk about it and just shoot the shit about it. And so I asked you like, hey, you want to, link up before we get a chance to decide on this? And you were like, yeah, I'm down. And I just want to say it was by far the best answer I've had from anyone, almost in my life. When I asked you, is there a restaurant or a coffee shop that you're familiar with, that you frequent? And you said, nah, I don't be in establishments. I just be outside. That is the best fucking answer that I could ever think of getting from anyone in relation to how they see themselves. You just said, I be outside. And immediately it's like, oh, it made me feel so good. And tell people like we met at a skate park and sat on a playground bench and talked. And immediately that was like, oh, this is the best. I don't even care whether or not she even agrees to do this.
and it was like the perfect temperature, and there was like a little bit of rain.
Right? Then it rained a little bit, but yeah, it was actually perfect. And you could see our enthusiasm right away in you being a part of this. So no, for real, man, I really just want to say thank you, because I already know that the amount of people and myself that are going to benefit from this conversation, it's invaluable. We're still working through this, but I start with these like kind of like a heavy question and around giving some sort of I guess call it explanation to the audience in regards to what do you do, Briana King? What do you do?
This is always a crazy answer for me because I always switch up what I do in terms of how I'm feeling emotionally. I've been blessed with just having success in whatever I end up trying. So majority of my time would be hosting community skateboarding events where I'm teaching 60, 70, 80 people how to push for their first time, ollie for their first time, ride over a crack. And yeah, just my life revolves around a lot of skateboarding. But, and what else? And like everything in skateboarding, music and skateboarding. So I'm playing music with skateboarders, surfing with skateboarders, yoga with skateboarders, breathwork with skateboarders, kundalini with skateboarders, and just like creating a healthier environment for skateboarders, I guess.
I like that because, it speaks to the foundation being skateboarding, but within that, you speak to community and you speak to all these different subgroups that are just really a part of life. And what seems to be, what I'm feeling that you represent are really around healthy aspects of life that you want to try out, whether it be other crafts, other hobbies, community development, all these things around creating a community and creating like healthy, what I like to say, healthy therapies within the foundation of skateboarding. How'd that come about? That's wild.
Okay, how did that come about? Just creating content online and sharing my stories online, how skateboarding was debilitating for me and how uncomfortable it was for me. And then them seeing the process of me feeling the most comfortable that I could be, and just hundreds of thousands of women just started skateboarding because of me. So if there's a lot of skateboarding research out at the moment, and I'll always be at the top, like who's the most motivational woman for you, and it'll always be like Briana King over so many other women skateboarders that are a million times better than me. And I think just the fact that I've shared online is people can find me relatable. And from there, they're just like, I'm going to run with whatever Brianna's been doing because I love her. I love her.
Why are you relatable? Why do you believe you're relatable?
I'm just real. I'm not scared of hiding anything that has happened to me or hiding any sort of emotions. I'm okay with not being perfect. And it is a scary place for people to be vulnerable online. And I feel I've already been judged since the day I was born. And I've already been so uncomfortable since the day that I was born. I'm like, I can be uncomfortable everywhere else because I've never felt comfortable in life in general. So I'm like, I can be the same person online. So people are like,
so many people look at it the other way around, like the internet and the accessibility of social media being more judging. You almost see it as almost less judging or less heavy, right?
yeah, because I've had such a great experience online. There's so many other people that are vulnerable online and they get so much negativity.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I've been blessed with just positivity all the time. So they also created a safe space for me online, just being so supportive. And if for whatever reason, I don't know why there wasn't much hate online.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I'm sure it has to do with what you've given off. From the moment every conversation I've had with you, even to when you pulled up outside hearing the music, when you called and were like, I've arrived, there is a level of calmness that you bring. It's interesting because you bring a lot of energy with you, but it's not a threatening energy. It's not, it doesn't create anxiety. And essentially when you have that, those are the spaces that people want to gravitate towards because you either enhance a feeling of joy for them, you enhance a feeling of enthusiasm for them. It's almost like you feel that right away. So it's,
I know.
just continue that. And I know, see, and that excitement when that's what I love because you continue to build that. And how did that mindset that you have in regards to, I look at you and you're like a walking Merkaba in the sense that your force field that you have, you just continue to allow the force field to just pick up by the way you see things, the things you continue to do. You're like, I'm going to live my life in a manner in which reinforces this way of thinking.
Yeah, so I started the meetups in a place of thinking that I wanted to help other people when it was actually a place of me needing more help.
Yeah.
And finding that love through community. And I thought,
and what meetups? What do you mean by meetups?
Skateboarding meetups.
Go ahead.
So just right away blew off 100 people, 100 people, 100 people, 100 people, everyone just coming, but everyone's writing me notes. Such a radiant human, you're this, you're that, and at that moment I'm only seeing myself as a skateboard instructor. And I'm just like, whoa, I am all of these things. And people are so loving and gentle with me that it made me realize I'm all of these things because I've never felt the way that I feel now. I never carried myself the way I carried myself. So if you saw me before I was a skateboarder, I was just so introverted and never really speaking and just heart chakra, not chakraing. And I was just so hurt all the time. So the way all this happens is just everybody around me. I've been blessed by everyone around me.
Have you recognized it as being almost like a slow cook over time? So let's dive back in relation to giving context and the story you have told me, but please, for the audience, I want to give some context into how you even got into this world of skateboarding that has opened up so many other doors for you. But it's not what people think.
Yeah.
This has not been a long-term thing, like something you started when you were really young and it's been a passion from day one. It might have been, it was an interest, but let's build on that. How did this your world get created into skateboarding?
So I grew up in Boyle Heights. Like half of my time in Boyle Heights, there was a lot of skateboarding happening. My neighbor gave me a skateboard. I tried to join the boys. They're like, Briana King, girls can't skate. But if you want to skate with us.
Fuck you, boys.
I know, for reals.
Fuck you, boys.
And they're like, but if you can kickflip, you can skate with us. Same day, I sit there for hours, just like on these 2 poles, picking myself up. Within 3 hours in like 1 week of skateboarding, I kickflip. So it comes to me easy. I was like, I know they didn't have it this fast. Like, they're going to be impressed. I'm like knocking on the door. He doesn't even want to open the door. He's like, through the window. What you want, Briana King? I was like, I can kickflip. And he's like, you got to ollie the 3 stair. I was like, immediately, ollie the 3 stair. They're like, girls suck. I'm like, whatever. 2 weeks later, they finally invite me out. This is Halloween day. I'm not allowed to go anywhere at this point because I'm living in the hood.
Word.
My mom was like, you stay right in front of the house. Don't go anywhere else. I leave because I'm finally invited after like months of trying to.
You got it. You got your in.
Yes, I was just like, whoa, I finally have friends. Like I can finally skateboard. I'm just so hyped. We get to a 4 stair. I've never skated a 4 stair. I've only skated that 3 stair one time. Immediately, all the way down the stairs, land on my ankle, break my ankle. This is the one time they were so nice, pushed me back home, wheeled me up the hill. They're like, Rosemary, Briana King broke her ankle. My mom focuses my board, like breaks my board. She's like, you're never skateboarding again. That's it.
That's it. Skateboarding done. Dream, what is it, a week?
Got crushed. My whole life is over and I have a broken leg.
Yeah.
That was it for then.
You didn't even, it's like, man, you talk about a story of redemption to literally immediately falling out of grace in totality.
I know.
Man.
The same day. The exact same day.
So skateboarding's out.
Out. And I'm just always looking at it. I'm like, dude, I want to be a skateboarder so bad. It's just so intricate. It's not even how cool it was. It was just, I knew it was so difficult.
Yeah. What about the way you describe skateboarding is different than anybody else I've talked to who skates. And I love this because you look at it in a way that it's not just art, but you described, you said something to me one time about the way the bodies move.
Yes.
Give a little bit on that.
Okay, this is what I always put it together with as a kid. I play music, and I always love to play flute because the fingering makes no sense. Like you can play a clarinet, and the more fingers you put on, it's gonna go deeper or higher. But the flute, you can have opposite fingers that make absolutely no sense, and the tone doesn't match the notes in the fingers that are down. And the same in skateboarding. You can have like your shoulders turn this way, and your board through. And your hips this way, and your board's still gonna flip through here. So it's like, whoa, skateboarding is kind of like a flute where it makes no sense. You can match your body and it's still gonna go the opposite way. It just was so difficult because snowboarding, you're gonna go this way, it's stuck to your feet, you know?
Yeah.
Surfing, you're gonna go this way, it's kind of stuck to your feet. Skateboarding was the complete opposite. I'm like, that's hard, I wanna try that one.
I like that. That's different. That's probably why I didn't fuck with skateboarding. Because I don't want my body or boards going in different directions, so. Stuck to bikes. I want to go back to because now that you don't have skateboarding, you're not a skater at this point. You tried it for a week and it broke your ankle.
Yeah, just dreamt of being a skateboarder.
So it's literally been taken from you.
Yeah,
and what do you do with that?
Well, I'm just emo. I'm like, okay, great, I'm emo again, and that's just my life. I'm just like playing emo music, existing as an emo person, and I'm like, okay, I'm emo. That's emo.
I don't mean to laugh, but I can picture.
And then I end up moving next to a skate park in Australia. I'm 18 years old at this time. And I'm at the skate park every single day, still watching skateboarding. But now I live across the street from the skate park. And I'm like, dude.
So it's still in your heart. Like, skateboarding was still very much it was still in you and it's still very much a part of you. You just honored your mother and honored the aspect of not doing it. She scared me
after that too. Like after breaking my leg, I thought that was like the craziest thing that you could possibly do to your body. You broke a bone, like you. Whoa, who cares?
Yeah, now So you're in Australia.
Hanging out in Australia, watching skateboarding all day. Finally run across someone that was finally nice to me, like 4 years into living in Australia. Get into skateboarding again. Have a horrible experience of just men being rude, uncomfortable. So I have probably 2 months in skateboarding. I can't deal with people being rude. Give it up again. Still at home, just like watching skateboarding videos. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just like a skateboarder in my brain, but not through my body. And okay, then I'm in Australia, and my modeling agency at the time did something super sus and was like emailing me about work when they're not supposed to be talking about work yet because I have a different visa processing. I'm like flying back from New Zealand to Australia, get stopped at customs. I'm like, you can go through my stuff. Like, I don't care. I'm not trying to hide anything. They're like, this is illegal. We're detaining you. I go into the detention center for 6 days. And I get kicked out. And I'm like, my visa that's processing is a de facto visa because I was engaged and I was going to marry my partner. I have a dog. I have like a whole life built there. I've been living there for 6 years and I'm like, whoa, I just lost everything. That was my happiness. Like, I love Australia so much. Yeah. And they're like, you're kicked out for 2 years.
Oh, man.
You got to go. And I was like, my life is over. Like, I tell my partner, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I do not feel well mentally. Like, I do not want to talk to anyone ever. I just go straight to New York. Never been to New York in my life. I get this hotel like on the...
Wait, you moved to New York without ever being there?
Without ever being there. I knew nobody, didn't know.
Oh, so at that point in time, you just liked stress. You just loved putting more stress on your toes.
Because I didn't want to go back to home.
Yeah.
Like, I've created this life, you have a
like, reference point
and it was all stolen from me. I have to go back home, tell my like friends, my family, like, something happened. I'm embarrassed that I got kicked out, even though it wasn't my fault. I was just ashamed of what had happened to me. So I was like, I'm going to go somewhere where I know nobody and I can't be embarrassed of anything. But I get to New York and I'm like, I'm going to get the most expensive hotel. I don't care about my money. I don't care about anything. Like, everything has been taken from me. And I'm like laying down in the shower every day, like, just trying to breathe, like, oh my God, like, my life is going to be fine. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
What got you to that point, though? Because to have that mentality with everything that had just happened, it's that's like a moment of transformation and like major change. Was there something that gave you a point to say, I need to relax myself, or I need to change the way I'm seeing my world happening? Like, what was it?
Dude, I don't even know. I couldn't even process my emotions at that time in my life. I didn't know. I don't know what I was feeling.
Somehow
I just know that I need to like
you did.
ground myself and like feel my body and just like be in water and take a breath. And in that time in my life, I wasn't like into like meditation or yoga or breath work, absolutely anything. I thought that was just like, whatever, I don't care. So I'm just there like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I go outside one day and I see a group of black girls on skateboards. I was like, this is my time.
You're in a new city. No one knows you. So which means they don't know your past. You can show up. They don't know you're not a skater, really. They don't know anything about how you identified with yourself.
Yes, it was so good.
And I think that's, in moments, really important for individuals to be able to step into something new or even something that they really want to do. And I feel like this is what happens for a lot of kids in college, where they're in a new space, a new community, a new environment, new ecosystem. And it's like, who do I want to be in this space? And they have an opportunity to show up. So I like that you saw people that you're like, these could be my people. I want these to be my people. They don't have any reference point for anything that I've been through. They don't even need to have any reference point. This is starting from a now with me in regards to, I'm going to show up and this is going to be my new future, present, moving forward. Like, that's dope. What'd that look like?
Ooh, okay. I moved to Australia and that whole entire time I'm a model. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Everyone's going crazy over me, like autographs. A whole different life, you know? That's modeling like doing huge campaigns, storefronts, billboards, like everywhere. So I felt like I had to be a certain type of person, like being a model, I had to look a certain type of way, blah, 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 blah. Hated it. I was like definitely groomed by my modeling agency, like act this way, be this way, dress this way.
Gotcha.
I've always been a nerd. Like, I band geek all my life. I've been a weirdo. Like, I grew up in a weird family and just an absolute goof. So going into New York and being around these group of people, I was just like, I don't want to act like the way I was groomed to be groomed to be. And I was just a goof right from the beginning. I'm like, I'm going to be annoying. I'm going to be funny. I'm going to be loud. I'm going to be awkward. And I just was able to finally be who I was inside. And it was just so lovely.
So were you received right away?
Yeah, immediately. Like everyone, all my friends, they all grew up in LES, and they like immediately had a whole group of skateboarders meet up at the Van Skate Park in Brooklyn, and they're like, everyone, this is Briana King. She just moved here from Australia. She's our homie now. And they're like, what's up? What's up?
So,
What's up? So,
was it more about the community in regards to what you brought energy-wise as opposed to the skateboarding?
yeah, it was
Because
just
essentially it's like you're still not a developed skateboarder, right?
yeah, I suck so badly, but I was just so funny that they were so
That they
excited to
accepted
have someone funny and just like not just like skateboarding like I'm so gnarly, just like just the craziest energy, I guess.
All right, so now what? Where do you go with that? You know,
I don't even know. Just every single day, skateboarding. And then that exact year, they have the Skate Kitchen movie come out. And every skateboarder in New York is hanging out every single day for that whole entire summer. Everyone becomes insanely close. And just become a sick-ass skateboarder. And I don't even know. Like, how did I get into my community work?
like essentially, are you at this point in time feeling yourself coming out of like the shell, in all aspects?
I know. Okay. Skating. I had a good amount of money saved at this point, and I was like, I'm done modeling, because I'm still modeling like here and there between this, because I have to work. And I was like, you know what? I'm never modeling again. I hate this. I'm a skateboarder. Like, that's all I am. I just have like a crazy identity because I never identified as anything and whatever. I was like, I identify as a skateboarder. I give it up. So I'm skateboarding every single day. I was like, I'm gonna skate every day until I have no money.
All right, so
If I skate like 2 years every single day, I have $0. Just living in this like random like skaters living room, and I was just like, day one, I was like, I can't do this. I find this lady. This lady always finds me on the street. She's like, dude, I can make you a lot of money. I call her up. I was like, yo, I'm ready to model.
go right back. It's like, you know what? I know I said I was done with this forever,
But I was like, there's one thing.
I'm good at this.
I can only model if I have my skateboard, because I need to feel something besides just being a human. Like, I need to have my identity. I need to feel like I'm talent. I need my skateboard with me, or I'm not doing anything, you know? So she starts fighting for me, like, every job. Like, this is Briana, you want to cast her? She has to have her job. And then boom, boom, boom. Immediately, I start, like, doing stunt double work. I'm doing huge campaigns. I'm doing commercials. I'm in movies. And then just, like, immediately just made a shit ton of money through skateboarding, and through there people saw that I was like skating and modeling, and then all these legacy skateboard brands start hitting me up to start modeling their brands, and it's just like immediately just like I was like, dude, what just happened?
I think that's really important to kind of touch on in regards to you in choosing to go back to the world of modeling, which is such an intense industry. Of course, you already know, and especially in regards to what it does imagery and identity wise for so many women, especially black women, young black women. The fact that you stood your ground around the identity you wanted to bring forward in modeling, and you and your agent fought for that, that's heavy. Like, that's breakthrough. It's like, because you know what, you can step in many fields that, you know what, I'm good at this, and I can do this career-wise. I can do this, and this is what feeds me, feeds my people, my friends, allows me to, live my lifestyle. But I don't have to necessarily compromise it in totality in reference to who I am. And I think a lot of people are going through that in reference to their careers, how they see themselves, what they want to do, what next steps, in spaces where it's like, I'm good at that, but I feel like they might be taking away some of my sense of self. Like, what do you say to people?
I mean, now it's
Now it's easy. Yeah, I wouldn't
now
say
it's
it's easier,
easy.
but
Now
like, yeah,
they want that.
they're looking for
But
that.
at that time, in like 2018, that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
And you just have to fight for what you want. And I did, and it happened. And there's not so, I don't know. It's like so hard because I don't speak about this so like too often.
Yeah.
That when I speak out loud, I'm also just like, whoa, so sick.
You know, you talked about doing what you want. You want to be able to do what you want. And you said, I want to be free. Now, all that does is just resonate so much because that is my daughter's reference point for everything. Dad, I just want to be free. What does that mean to you in relation to doing what you want? And I think your generation, I'm not going to date myself, but you're a little younger than me, but I see it so much in your space with your peers around really wanting to do what you want, and not from a place of I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
It's like really the sense of freedom is, nah, I've seen what y'all do. Y'all ain't happy. Yeah, I see you guys taking on these identifications around roles, careers, lifestyles that's like, no, truly you epitomize what it looks like to be having a lifestyle pay for a lifestyle.
I know. You got to play the game and allow the rest of the world to just be evil and weird sometimes, and make an effort to make sure to be grounded and take care of yourself and breathe and feel good, and just let people be crazy and abusive around me. Like, I feel like...
But does that mean are you protecting
how
self in the, are you just the whole
Yeah.
time it's like just cultivate self? And is there a trust in that in regards to
layer? Everything I do is creating layers just for me to go back on set and just be like, have one tiny layer left. And then for the rest of the year, I can just be free and create the biggest layers of bubbles. But I wish you can go in my brain.
So that's interesting because the way you're speaking is a sense. It reminds me around like control what you can control. Because if you're recognizing that some of the spaces that you go into and you choose to go into are heavy. So what you do is to ground yourself, almost enhance yourself to a point where you're so prepared, and whether it be training, this is why we work out, so that we're healthy, so that we can have better stamina, we can be stronger in our conditioning is better. And to be able to step in all these spaces, and it's not just physical training. What are some of the things you're doing? Because I saw your Kundalini yoga, you're trained in Kundalini yoga. That's a whole nother aspect, which is an intense practice. You clearly have and are taking these tools to equip yourself in a sense, to put yourself back in some of these spaces that are not necessarily seen. The industries are not seen as healthy.
No, not at all. I feel like I wouldn't go so hard in any of my practices that I do. I have to do all these things daily, like taking up 2-3 hours of my day just for me to just have to exist in the industry.
Okay. Which then allows you to
live my life
the way
freely.
you want. Yeah.
Yes.
So what are some of the, I like to hear guests speak on, what are some of these in your process of what it takes? What are some of your routines?
So my physical, Ashtanga yoga, my mental, Kundalini yoga, and when it comes to just doing all of my happy stuff is just going to the gym and just lifting a bunch of weights.
Throwing weights around, see? That's what I tell people. Because strong is dope, all right? Like,
it is.
Being strong and feeling strong.
It makes life so fun. Like, I don't know if you saw my post. I was like, I love being strong for the sake of just carrying my niece and nephew and just like tossing them like, like, you love that.
Being able to do shit, man. Like, I've always loved that. The ability to move, the ability to actually feel strong in your body in relation to the world is it's a very empowering thing, and I look at I remember my mom said when I was younger about and this was all around confidence. Like, confidence is a really interesting thing to me about if people are not confident, what are you actually doing to take steps towards becoming confident? If you feel weak, what are you doing to make yourself feel stronger? If you don't feel smart, what are you doing to take those steps in regards to making yourself feel smart in particular spaces? If you don't feel skilled, what things are you doing to develop skills in particular spaces, which essentially will make you feel confident? And it's like a chain link where, and I'm super stupid when it comes to this in regards to, there's something that, like, one link makes the next link stronger, and each link makes the other link behind it stronger. And so it's like, yeah, one step in one direction will help every other step in every direction. Because then I feel like that's part of the process where we can pull from that.
Yeah.
Now, what you did for yourself in relation to skateboarding that then helped with
like the link of modeling, the link of modeling, link of skating, the link of surfboarding, the community,
everything.
I know.
And now you just build upon that. Do you in any moment, do you feel like, oh man, it's finite? Do you feel like it's going to end? Do you
No. There's so, like, I also do public speaking. I also speak at colleges. It's about skateboarding and building community and business. I'm on panels with the most amazing people constantly, and they're always like, we have your back forever. I do consulting when it comes to skateboarding, consulting, fashion. Like, there's so many things that people have created jobs for me within the industry to make sure that I'm always good. Even though they know I'm great, they're just like, we want to give you more. They want to give me more, want to give me more. So I'm constantly like, even if I want to chill, they're like, okay, here's some money to even chill. So I have so many talents. I'm like, I am good. I am comfortable. I love myself no matter what. I am good. I'm constantly working to be a better person. So
I like to I want to go back to, with everything that you have, how does that work in regards to your level of gratitude and finding balance in that? Because it's easy to see all these blessings and to have some, and to sometimes get lost in all of it.
Never.
Why?
I think because I'm not stupid. Just kidding. Maybe okay. I have two reasons. I don't know why, because I just don't know why. But being with my mother that had nothing, not be able to keep lights on, not having food sometimes, I'm able to just be so grateful for everything because I came from absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And I told you in our conversation before, but then there's my dad that has a lot, and I could have anything that I've ever wanted, and it still wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So just having the balance and the way that I grew up created just a beautiful being.
It seems that early on you had a personal moral compass that you knew what you stood for and what it was about. And, it seems to be love. It seems to be joy and support. You wanted to be supported, so you support. You wanted to be loved by people who essentially loved your energy. Not necessarily wasn't about skill. I haven't heard you say anything about, wanting to be known as the best skateboarder.
Yeah, I'm not the best at anything.
That's not necessarily what you're looking for. You're looking for spaces of true acceptance for what you bring energetically and what that energy represents. It seems to be just love and all the dope shit. Like,
That's
we're
crazy.
gonna vibe. So no, I appreciate that.
Every morning I wake up, I just go like this. Just yell. And I remember to, like, every single morning just to yell and be grateful. Like, my neighbors are like, dude, you good? I was like, I'm great.
What's that yelling represent?
Freedom. I can just do whatever I want. Like, I feel like a lot of people are really scared to be loud and just...
Yeah. Because the world doesn't want loud people. What do you want the way you live and how you live, how you see the world? What do you want it to say and speak for others.
No matter the circumstances of their life or growing up, that it's possible to feel good. I went a lot of my life thinking that I was going to feel ill forever. My body was going to hurt forever. My mind was going to be sad forever because of the way I was raised and the way that I was treated, and just everything hurt all the time. And I thought it wasn't within my reach to feel good, and that it's possible with a lot of work or a little bit of work or a medium amount of work to feel good in your body, and you just have to try really, really hard.
When you say work, is it just care? Is it
Because I cared for myself.
Yeah, is it more?
And I loved myself, but it was just like the world, I feel like a lot of the world is teaching us all the time that if you live the traumatic life, that you're going to be stuck with your trauma forever and you're going to feel bad for a long time, or you're going to feel bad forever. I feel like that's kind of marketed to us. Like, I'm this way because childhood trauma all the time. And there is a way to get out of those traumas with a million things.
What does that look like now in regards to personal responsibility then?
Every day I tell myself, like, I can't miss a day. I have to train every day. And whatever the training is, it doesn't have to be physically. It could just be mentally, but I make sure to do physically and mentally because I need to do those two things because I'm just that type of person. But I need to do it every single day. If I skip a day, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling the things that I've felt like, that I've experienced in my life, and I need to do these things every single day.
You know, when I look at personal responsibility, I think that starts with, like, you got to be honest about some things. What's your relationship with truth and honesty at this point in time?
Yeah, I used to tell myself that's like, oh, if I had a healthy relationship, if I had this amount of money, if I had my home, if I had my car, like, things would be easier. I thought my pain was coming from not having things that have been marketed to me.
Yeah.
And then I now have everything that I could ever wish for. I was like, dude, I have my car, I got my house, I got hoes. Just kidding. And I have my dream sponsors, I have money, like, whoa, I have everything. And then I was just like, I still feel horrible. And then I start going to therapy. Start realizing that I was avoiding just what I was really feeling inside, and I knew I wasn't doing well mentally, and everything was just, I was so reactive and so naughty and just mean, honestly. I was so mean to myself. And that's when I was like, dude, I've been lying to myself about how I really feel emotionally and just putting it on, like, oh, these items in my life, instead of really digging down deep and being like, girl, you really know what's really hurting you and what you need to do. And I was like, okay, time to really step up and stop being scared of your pain inside. It was just so scary. I thought it was just going to be really hard to get those things. I was like, oh, it'll be easier to get $5 million than to, like, fix what's happening inside of me.
And sometimes it is. What's the timeline of that look like in regards to, is this simultaneously while you're...
No.
So this was all before. Okay.
No, this happened... This happened to me maybe when I'm like 27 years old. And I'm like sitting in my room and I have everything. I'm like, whoa, my house is beautiful. Like, my partner is beautiful. My family is beautiful. Like, I can do whatever. And I was like, I'm over life. Like, I felt so
even with
insane.
all of it, just not feeling
literally
life.
Perfect. I go to the hospital because I was like going insane. I was like, I feel like I'm over life because I already did everything. You know, I'm like still lying to that moment. Like, the doctors are telling me, I'm like, I already did everything. Like, I have money, I have success, I have a beautiful family, friends, everything. And they're like, nah. And then I start going to like DBT therapy, and they're just like, okay, you have borderline personality. start talking about my story growing up. Like, this happened, that happened, that happened. And there's like, girl, a lot of stuff has happened to you and you need to work on a lot of these things. And yeah, I used to avoid like crazy stuff all the time. Like, quick little story. One time I'm like on a photo shoot in Greece and we have to go in this car with a stranger, me and another girl. And I'm like, no, start freaking out. I don't know what's triggering me. I think I'm just mad because I'm like, I want a nicer car. Like, I don't want this. Like, I can't believe you're putting me in this car with no seats. I can't identify with my emotions and like how to process that in the moment. But it's like, I was kidnapped as a child, like 3 months, no one knows where I'm at, like living under a bed, you know?
Oof.
Like, so all of those things, it's like, I couldn't go every single day of like knowing when I'm triggered and how to process any sort of emotions. And then through there, I'm like telling them like, dude, I was beat, I was this, I was that, I was that. And now like if I go through something, I'm like, oh, I can sit down, I can breathe, I can do whatever I need to do. And it's just gonna be an easy process for me to get through anything that has ever triggered me or like that has happened to me previously in my life. So
You got a tool.
yeah, and that's just like
yeah.
such a simple tool. It's like so easy, and so many people try to tell me all the time, but the people that are trying to teach me things, they seem so far ahead of me that I feel like it was hard for me to listen to them. I'm like, of course you feel like this because you had this tool, you had that tool, you had your family. Like, I have nothing. Like, how am I going to get there, you know? And I just got there on my own, and I like secluded myself for like a whole year, and I just like had my spiritual guider just with me every single day, just like, okay, you're going to get better. And he's like, don't take medication, don't do anything. We're going to do breath. We're going to do this. We're going to journal. And then it was just like, whoa, like every single day I'm like driving down a hill and I look at a mountain and I feel high. Like I'm also sober. I'm like high. I'm just like, whoa, I feel like I did so many drugs right now, just living my every single day life. And I'm like, whoa, this is fire. Like, why wouldn't I just do this every single day? Yeah.
See, and then it takes you like, it's almost like a remembrance of, oh.
What a noob.
It's almost like, I got it. Come on now. It's almost like a...
Dude, I have a crazy story, but I don't know if I want it to exist like here, but I'm just...
Yeah, we can edit it out if you want. Okay, bet. Yeah.
Okay, the day
Because I
that...
know these stories are crazy, right?
The day that Kian like passed away and Aaron calls me, this guy that I didn't even know was friends with him.
Yeah.
Whenever she calls me, I'm like, so mad he passed away. Go to bed. His like one of his friends, Ethan, the musician with the baby.
Yeah.
I never met Ethan before. Ethan's in my dream. We're like running through a forest, and Ethan turns into like a big flower. And it goes over me. I'm like meditating. I wake up like in the craziest high that I feel like when I'm driving down the mountain.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, there's no way I'm not gonna do what like Kian told me to do. Like, I'm gonna train every day. I'm gonna do these things every day. Like, he visited me in my motherfucking dream.
Sounds like bro. See?
It was so good.
Ethan's actually, he'll be here next couple days. So I'm gonna actually see him, if you want to meet him in person.
I never met him in person.
Ethan's one of the most genuine and beautiful souls I've ever met. He's soft in a way that it's about as welcoming as it gets.
And like, okay, I don't care if it's on anymore. And just having someone that I was so fearful of, and he used to make me so uncomfortable, and then having that experience was just like so eye-opening for me. Like, the people that I fear are important to me, and the pain through like that I have from people are really important to me. And I had like a uncomfortable relationship with my mom, and now best friends.
That's wonderful.
And that was like the best thing that I found through the process of taking care of myself.
What was that in regards to like communicating with your mom to be able to rebuild and repair some of that stuff?
I didn't even have to really have the conversation with my mom. It was her seeing the improvement in me emotionally. I didn't have to sit there and have an uncomfortable conversation with my mother. It was just, do you want to go to the park? You know, like running, flying a kite, doing everything, and just laughing and just rebuilding it off of memories and having fun. And it just blossomed from there. So there hasn't really been a moment where I was like, okay, like this. And she's just like, I'm so proud of you. And now my mom is like meditating, doing yoga, and all of these things that she was never into. And I never had to push it on her and not even talk about it. She's just like, sees me doing it. I get to my sister's house. Someone's driving me insane. I'll go to the front, like put a mat out and just like stretch, do things. My niece comes out, starts doing it. And my mom, everyone just does it without any words.
That's love, man. And this is what I talk about in regards to you having this like energetic field around you that it's invasive from a healthy aspect. It's contagious in many aspects, and I think it's not specific to you.
Yeah,
it really is. Joy is contagious. I don't care. Laugh. See how many people want to see what you're laughing about, and be a part of that laughter. You know. Do you project in any aspects of seeing where you want this to go in regards to your phases? Because I'm so excited in regards to like, and I know it's me having to, because I see so much of my daughters in you, and I see so much of aspects of you that are healthy and joyous. I do think of like, oh, and I can't wait to see the next phase of Briana. What is that, if anything, what does that look like?
I mentor and take care of so many skaters at the moment. And we spend so much of our days and our time together that I would just love to have my own skateboarding team. And there's like so many teams that exist now for the sake of people just loving skateboarding, and they make such a huge impact in skateboarding because it doesn't have to be gnarly all the time. And I know that I have the resources to take care of all these people because they already do, but if we just had like a name behind it, it'll just be so much easier to continue what we've already been doing over the past few years. But right now I'm able to fly out a lot of skaters to skateboarding events, or need a car, I can get you a car. If you need a new apartment, I can help you do whatever you need to do. And a lot of my sponsors will give me funding to help people in my community. So I've had a lot of financial support when it comes to helping skateboarders in the industry.
That's beautiful. Ain't none of this shit about skateboarding.
No.
This is all about helping people.
We had to find each other through skateboarding because people are so uncomfortable and not having something to not hyper focus on because they're uncomfortable with themselves.
Yeah.
And the skateboarding is what opened it up, because if I just meet someone else in the street and they're going to be nervous. Like, I don't want to talk about that. What do I do? Skateboard, and then flourish from there.
Exactly. Skateboard is the common thread, and then you literally find all these other branches and connections through there.
Yeah, like,
and that's with anything, and that's
what I'm saying. Like, my meetups, I'm like, just come. I'm like, you don't have to know how to do anything. The girls are in the corner painting. They're like, I started my own
not anybody even skateboard.
It's not like it's so cool. Some people come to, like, there's like 20 people on the side with no skateboard. They're like, you want me to hold your hand? I'm like, this is the best meetup that could ever exist in the whole entire world. And me and my friends started it. Like, I've gone to so many meetups around the whole entire world, but like nothing hits like the ones we be having. I'm like, gee. Why am I in LA if I'm not going to do these things? It's like I can't treat any part of the world any differently. Like, I'm me and I'm on this earth. It's not because I'm in LA, I'm in New York, I'm in these places. That's where I started to learn. I'm like, oh, I'm in LA, so I gotta do this. I'm in LA, I gotta do this. Like, no. Chill out, bro.
Just chill out. You represent the definition of chill. I don't know, man. I like all this.
Dude, but I also love everything. Like, where do I want to see this? What do I see this doing next? You know, like, I'm also like working on set, like directing, producing my own shoots. You know, like, there's just so many. You love
life. Like, you are engaged in really experiencing all aspects.
Yeah.
Of life. There's not, if you were interested in something, you seem to be like, I want to try that. I want to do that.
My friends always like, Briana's such an extreme person. Like, she always has to go so hard, and like whatever she's doing, I'm like, it feels good.
What does success mean to you?
Whatever I'm working for, I just said it. So my success comes from, dude, there's so many ways, but let's say when it comes to my actual work, oh, dude, it's so hard.
It's just
success?
a feeling. What is the feeling of success? Whether it be landing a move that you know you've worked on a million times.
This is the one.
Bodying a shoot.
This is, okay, I don't know why I forgot this, but the fact that I've been able to work with all of my same people for the past 5 years, let's say whatever huge corporation hits me up, they're like, okay, we want to book you for this shoot. Like, this is the photographer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I need my videographer, I need my photographer, I need my makeup artist, or I'm not doing this. And just having my space where I feel the most safe and the most creative with my people. So that is success for me, is like putting all of my people on and making sure that like we are one big giant shooting star. But yeah, that's where I always feel like, whoa, like I really did that. Like me and all of my homies like went up together.
Word. Yeah, no, I like that. It ain't fun if the homies can't have none.
No.
Are you successful?
Yeah.
Word. So what in the I guess opposite breath, I like to give that, but then frame it in relation to like how we see failure. Like, what does that look like in relation to maybe how you used to see it and now, you know?
Oh,
like
failure beforehand. I was avoidant of feeling like I was a failure. So that just in itself, I was just so lost in my own head and just like, I'm the best because blah, 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 blah. I always had to attach myself to saying I'm the best because of this.
Because of the fear of failure, the fear of identifying with failure. Yeah.
So just living every day with that thought process is
hard,
so exhausting and boring. And failure now is not training every day. I'm like, I skip a day and I'm just like, you are not taking care of yourself the way you need to take care of yourself, and you're not going to feel the best that you could possibly feel. And that is also boring. Like, you want to live a fun life. Like, that's my obsession, you know, like fun. And you skip something, I'm like, whack.
I like that. I don't think I've ever heard anybody looking at failure as not taking care of yourself. I like that a lot. And it's very simple, and it makes the most sense in the world, because that is to fail, to not take care of yourself. And thank you for that. Yo, people don't understand. I learn more about myself in these conversations, because the fact of the matter is that I don't pick people I don't like to bring on and hear from. Even if I might totally disagree at some point in time with how they see the world, there's something in me that knows I'm going to appreciate and find value in this. So you are very much a representation of the little strong skateboarding black girl inside me, who you know, I always ask, you know, in regards to your process and the things you're working through in life, what's something that you love about your process, that you are excited? There you go.
Okay, this is what I love about my process. It took so long. It took me 28 years to really just feel perfect. You know, I really feel like I feel perfect. And I love that I was able to experience just a whole whirlwind of emotions. And I used to be so uncomfortable and so upset and so sad that I had to experience my life the way I experienced it and go through everything. And I'm just so grateful for the pain, and I'm so glad that I can actually sit here and feel like I'm grateful for the pain.
Yeah. And know it's honest, and know it's true.
Yeah, and it's just like, it doesn't even matter anymore that all of those things happen, because I am so happy with myself. I'm so happy the way I treat other people around me. I'm so happy the way I take in every single moment of my life, and I'm not triggered, and not like, there's just so many things that I'm just like, I don't know.
You're really appreciative. You're appreciative of the entire process.
Yeah, even today here, this didn't go perfect. I'm late. I'm like over here just like,
that's all good.
Everything is good. You know, before I'd be like, like a little setback or a little bit of emotion here or there. I'm like, no, I feel so good every single day, and it's doesn't even feel real. And I feel like I needed to have the chaos in order to feel like so good all the time.
So, whew. Okay.
Like how? Like how? I don't understand. Like I'm confused every single day. This is like years of
You,
just
you
like feeling like so good. And even if I'm like in the places where I was like, I don't like being in a shoot or in the industry in this, like I can still go there and feel perfect. You know, like last month I'm like shooting a campaign in New York. Like everyone's yelling like birds abusing animals. I'm like, "Rah!" And I was just like,
you're a phenomenal example for a lot of young individuals, and not just young individuals, but individuals who would love to rewire their brain long term, but also in the active rewiring.
it's literally meditation.
Like
I'm like sitting there and like how I felt like I took so many drugs. Like how is this even possible? You know, I'm like there for years, just like sitting here like
So clearly
it's
you're
nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. Like what is this? Whatever. Like I'm gonna just do it because like cool people are saying it now. Like I want to be cool. You know, just did it there. Like and then I'm here. I'm like, all like.
So clearly you're an advocate for meditation in regards to
you're going off.
Okay, and I like that. You know what's funny? Also, I like that you said that the first step you took was probably just doing it to do it, and you stayed in it though. You continue to do it, and then at some point in time, it did. It actually hits. Oh, I feel the value, see the value in it, and then and that's what happens sometimes. It's
a
matter of
a whole year of it too, and I was like, whatever. Like
just keep doing it. Yeah,
I'm already uncomfortable.
so I might as well.
Why?
Yeah, this
I
is
could
just
be
another.
uncomfortable. I could be uncomfortable here. I
Yeah,
could be uncomfortable
another,
there. Like just add more discomfort, and then see what happens.
Like, oh, all right. What's one thing about your process that you don't necessarily appreciate and you recognize, but you're working on?
It was lonely for a long time. I was just like, this is not of any interest of any of my close friends. And I don't like to be the person to suggest things to people.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk it into people. It's like I need to do it in order for my friends to be down with it. I've tried before. I've tried to talk to people. I'm not that type of person where I could speak something and it gets through people's minds. And I've noticed that. Like, I'm not that person. The only way that I can make a difference in my friends' lives and my family's lives if I apply it to my life. So that was a really lonely process, and I didn't like that whatsoever. It was really hard for me. I was like, I'm really lonely, but like, I believe that this is going to make a difference in my life, and I literally have no other choice because I was just over life in general. So I was just like, okay, let's see how it goes. And it really was beautiful, and it was really lonely. But at the end, I was able, now I have so many friends that love meditating. We went and skated yesterday. We like sat down, meditated, did yoga, stretched, skated, and sang and do so many beautiful things. And it's like the last people that you think that are like yogis or like into meditating, like the coolest, most sexiest, juiciest girls that like be skating. I'm like, oh, y'all are into this? And like just kept attracting these type of people. I'm like, whoa, like, the way I'm holding myself now, like, attracts these type of people, and now they're all here, and I thought I was going to be lonely. I'm going to have to search. I'm going to have to go there and that. Just my everyday life, like, these people, like...
You're just attracting...
I'm like...
loving,
but now I'm attracting the right people.
unit.
Before, I was, like, attracting, like, odd people. Very odd. Okay. And now it's just... like, people are like, oh, you're into this? I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? And they're like, I could just feel it. I'm like, okay, let's go.
That's what's up. Okay. Last question. I end with this. Who are you?
Okay, my favorite thing about life is me. I don't identify as anything. You know, I'm nothing. Like, I am just me. Like, my existence, my meat, my flesh, and that's it.
I like it. There's no right answer for any of this. Whatever you say is really the flow.
I can't even be like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. It's just boring in my brain at the moment. And my mind is always changing. I could be like, I want to identify as this or that. I'm this type of person. Yeah. I'm never stuck in one feeling, one thought or anything. But in this moment, it's the easiest thing for me to be. It's like I'm my soul.
Boom. Well, thank you for you have no idea this, and I knew it was gonna be very different. I knew it was gonna bring a level of energy, a casualness to how you see the world, but also an ownership in relation to your world. And I thank you because you softened me. And I know I can't wait to get to my girls later on today and just like ask them.
And I love the word casualness too, because I used to just be in like certain spaces and I felt like I had to speak a certain type of way or be a certain type of way, and I was just like, that's not me. Like, and it still speaks through even with casualness.
No, it's yeah. You know what's interesting? I think that the way society and the way the world looks at casualness is less than, and it's not. In many spaces, casual is honest. It's more truthful because somebody feels like if they can't be casual, they have to straighten up and put on something that might not be natural to who they are. So I appreciate that. And even in relation to this, you know, I do want people to see these conversations as casual in relation to honest. I don't care what people necessarily think in these conversations or what the specifics are. I want them to be comfortable to voice that because I do know that there are people that think the same way. And I'm hard, yeah, but I do know that there are people that are sitting here that are going to watch this and say, oh, I felt like that. And maybe I lost that or I forgot. You know, they felt like that as a little girl or a little girl that's going to say, I fuck with that because that's how I think right now. And now I don't feel alone in that. I know I can move forward, and it helps them take that next step in choosing what direction they want to go.
Yeah, it's easy, but hard, but so easy.
Yeah, what community they want to go in. But all these things help. All these things in regards to understanding, number one, but also feeling connected and relatability. You're about as relatable as it gets in all ways because your life is everything. What you just spoke to is such a wide range of an ecosystem that every demographic could pull from this, literally. From the hood to modeling, high-end modeling to skateboarding to working with children to like mentoring, consulting. This really is endless. And I know that these conversations are valuable. I don't know if the guests know, but I know. So that's why I'm super grateful because I know the value in all these conversations, and I'm signing off on that. Thank you. Welcome to Profits in Process.
Blessed.
Word up.
So really quick, where can our guests find
Oh
you?
yes, here we go.
Just,
I would say
goodbye.
where? Yeah. So where can? Sorry.
We forgot to mention what I'm also.
Oh
working.
yeah. Okay, here we go. So.
So we're gonna wrap it up as to we're gonna like. Is there anything else you want to
Okay.
And then where can they find you?
Cool. Yeah. Is there anything? Yeah, I want to make sure that that the audience knows. Is there anything you're working on? You want to give energy to? You want to make sure that they're.
Yes, I'm working on a solo part for Thrasher at the moment. So check Thrasher next year, early next year. Bangerade.
Bangerade. All right, I'm with that. And how can people get in contact with you, find you? Is there anything coming up that they need to be a part of, whatever?
You can find me at Briana King everywhere. I host events in New York and LA once a month for the rest of my life, and I'll probably be on a world tour again. We'll see what happens, but
Briana King. Just
Briana King.
Yeah, just look. You Google the name.
Google me.
It's
Wikipedia.
It'll pop up. She's the dopest. Easy.